Hi everyone, welcome back to another Reddit cheating story. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell if you love to watch more cheating stories. Ex's ex is cheating on her husband. So I dated this guy a year ago. He is a media personality. It was for a very short while and I was with him despite all the red flags. But he didn't give a damn about my existence and also borrowed a lot of money. So I ended it with him. During our relationship, when we went out on a date, I saw his ex calling him, video calling him an ig. He told me he had kept her blocked. I fought with him. I went ahead and told that woman not to contact him again. I don't know her personally, but I just dropped her a text in ig asking her to stay away from him. She said she wanted to get a video edited. I'd why someone would take a video call for that, but ignored it, and that's why she had called him. She promised me that she'd not contact him again. She's a married woman with a 2-year-old daughter. After the breakup, he tried to call me several times. I kept him blocked, but he called me from different numbers. From random guys' numbers. I felt very unsafe. After a few months, I met this guy, fell in love with him, and he's an absolute gem. I'm super happy in the relationship and we're going to get married soon. But the calls never stopped. I tried talking to his best friend, explaining the situation. He said he had reached him a lot of times, but he is not listening. I told his best friend, see, I'm going to get married, he has to stop this. He said, yeah, I understand, but he misses you a lot and is not moving on. I said that's not my problem. This again happened, the calls. I went to his ig and checked the tagged photos. Apparently this guy has been dating a girl this whole time. When I stalked the girl, I realized that they were talking even when I was in the picture. I was so angry. Also, the calls were not okay. So I told my BF about this and cried. He said he's never gonna listen. I think we better go to the cops. Apparently the cops warned him. I'd ting voice in my head kept telling me that he's cheating on his GF. I texted her. I told the what and all happened. I mentioned him telling her all this to keep her informed. I said what happened with the police case and all, that it was not a long text. To my surprise, she said, hey, I've kept him blocked from last month. He's hurt my feelings a lot. I'm very hurt. Thanks for keeping me informed. I said that's okay. Few days later she texted me telling she broke up with him. I actually didn't believe her, so I said cool, good for you. But then she started explaining why. She said he's been having an affair with his ex. Apparently they were having virtual sex for a really long time and this guy has videos of her breastfeeding her daughter. I was beyond disgusted. She's a momfluencer FFS, she has a bit of followers in ig. Now guys, tell me, should I inform her husband? I know this is none of my business. But I feel so bad for her baby and her husband. Please help me. I need your advice. Edit, guys, WTF is ex, I mean the girl who said she broke up with him and said awful things about him, is back with him. She has put up a highlight on her ig, love of my life. WTF, I'm so confused and mad at that woman. Here are some of the best comments from our community. I would tell her husband. That's creepy. Honestly, this whole situation sounds awful. If he stopped calling you, I'd wipe your hands of this and shut the door for good. Ask the ex and the ex's husband if they can talk to him about calling you all the time. After all, she is still so close to him. You either help your abusive ex and his cheating ex by not telling her husband, or you help her innocent husband. Those are your only two choices. I hope you chose the right one and let her husband know. I was never hit on much by women until I got married. I don't know what it is about some women, but when they see a man that has something good going for himself, they just want to fuck it up. Person shrugging. Another cheating story. Cheating. My ex-boyfriend cheated on me for however long. I first found out when I was pregnant with my twins. I chose to stay with him and work things out. A year and a half later I find out I'm pregnant again. After he's born I learned that he's been cheating on me for a year. He's pays hookers for sexual favors. He told me it because I was pregnant and postpartum, so he didn't want to bother me. I decided to move from where we were all living together and separated. This was before the holidays and he beefed me to pretend nothing was going on until after the holidays. I couldn't do it. He begged me to live with my kids and because he couldn't afford to live on his own and he didn't want to be away from the kids. This guy works here and there and won't get an actual job to support us. I'm a full-time student, mom, and live off of welfare to support myself and my kids. We've been separated for 6 months and the amount of destruction this guy has caused to me and my mental health. Every time I tell him, he says he'll move out, but won't be able to afford our rent, which we have been taking out of our savings. I'm about to get a payout from a lawsuit, only about $10K, and contemplating just kicking him out, paying my rent for the rest of my lease and getting a job after finishing school. 2 semesters left and I get 2 degrees. He always threatens to live in his car, a car I bought, if he won't live with us, and I just can't live with that in my conscience. Any help/advice? Edit, I kicked him out. Here are some of the best comments from our community. He's a grown man. Let him deal with his choices. It's not your responsibility to look after him. You have actual children to protect and care for. Don't waste any more energy on this baggage. Because that's all he is, heavy baggage that is dragging you down. And he is manipulating you with pity to keep him afloat at your expense. Take out the trash. He sounds like a train wreck, someone not worth entrusting the livelihood of you or your children on if he can't maintain a steady job or steady income, especially if he has a history of spending money on prostitutes. I doubt they come cheap. And it seems like you're in an awkward living situation, with or without him. At the very least, it seems like you'll get enough money to manage you and your kids for the time being, and I hope you're able to hold on to enough of it to sustain your family. If he's this much of a detriment on your mental health, then having him around is not a good idea. If you have parents, siblings, or other family members who can assist you with taking care of your kids while you finish school and find a job, then that would probably do wonders for the sake of your mental health and stability over a significant other who clearly doesn't respect you. He can't afford to live by himself, but he could afford to pay hookers for sex while you were pregnant. Leave that MF alone. A grown-ass child who literally cannot afford rent but can afford $100/$200/$300 for sex with hookers behind your back is not someone you want to live with you and mooch of you. It's not your fault, it's not because you were postpartum, it's not because you were pregnant, it's because he wanted to. Don't let this asshole manipulate you into thinking you're responsible for his actions. He's a poss. And if you fuck around and let him stay now, he'll never leave and try to be entitled to your money and future success. Seriously, kick him the fuck out and don't even think about having it on your conscience. It's also your car. Tell his parents and tell them to get him TF out your apartment. The biggest piece of advice I have for you is to get your tubes tied. And quit having sex with this pig. You have enough kids we taxpayers have to support because you keep making bad decisions and choosing this loser to have kids with when you already know he's worthless. You just keep making bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. Don't be foolish enough to co-mingle your $10K into a joint account with this worthless piece of shit, either. Let that be the one smart decision you actually make. Your conscience is what got you into this. Now your focus has to be entirely about making things better for you and your kids. Work on getting your self-esteem up and get him out ASAP. He will try to weasel your lawsuit money from you too. 3 kids with a massive cheater, lazy dirtbag. Don't sleep with him ever again. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell.